How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Hop Butcher up in this piece in the form of their Kiwi Coast. Yeah, this is Nectaron, never heard of that. Nectaron, Pacific Sunrise, and Nelson Sauvin hopped India Pale Ale. 6.7% alcohol by volume, and as per Hop Butcher and their usual labeling, they do the old tasting notes in the back here. We have a little bit of ripe tropical, white grapes, and pleasant pine. Yeah. Hop Butcher for the world. Yeah, this comes from them. They send me off beer all the time. There's a lot of people beer nowadays, so yeah, we'll see how this sucker pours and drinks. It's one of their relatively lower ABV kind of options. I like it when they get down into the 5%, but we're talking about 6.75. Hey, boys, it's cool. It's what Jetson does. You know, little dude, boots off in the water. What do you want? There you go. Yeah, as far as this goes, I mean, it's got this rich orange to it. Something a little bit darker than what you'd expect from a lower ABV beer, especially from Hop Butcher. It has this kind of, a little bit more of kind of maybe a West Coasty hazy vibe to it. I mean, and they're talking about ripe tropical, white grapes, in that pleasant pine. For some reason, when these West Coast IPAs lean a little bit heavier for me, they definitely get into this color, especially in that hazy category. So I expect it to be a little bit piney. But it's got a soft haze to it. Nothing super turbid. You're not going to stick a spoon in it and have it sit straight up. Index finger, decently creamy head on it. Pretty uniform bubbles throughout. So, yeah. Looks the part of a hazy. Let's get a nose. Honestly, this is all tropical fruit and white grape for me. I'm not really getting much of any pine on the nose. It really does jump out at you tropical. Really does jump out at you starfruit tropical. Very much kiwi for me. But that vinous kind of white grapiness that you typically get from Nelson Sauvin is coming in spades here too. A very close second. Yeah, it's got a soft greeniness, so it doesn't really come off all that piney for me. Could change in the taste, but man, this is tropical fruit and that big vinous character just kind of jumping out at you in a relatively sweet way. Nothing too over the top. And that little bit of soft green. Smells pretty nice, actually. Let's dive on in. Cheers. Okay. That pine absolutely shows up in the taste. Kind of leapfrogs almost everything. It probably comes in a neck-and-neck race in second place for that vinous characteristic. The pine is much sharper, so in the grand scheme of things, you kind of want to think, okay, that's bigger than that vinous note, but really, the white grapiness of this from that Nelson Sauvin, while softer and not as aggressive, is definitely on par. So it's a wider berth of a flavor as opposed to a sharp, like, kind of a peakiness that you would get off of that kind of pininess, but they're much in the same. But really, it is the star of the show here, is that tropical fruit, that kind of star fruit, that kind of kiwi kind of level vibe coming off of it is really what's coming out at me. I wonder if it is that Nectaron kind of hop. I'm going to have to look, or a combination of that with the Pacific Sunrise, because even Pacific Sunrise I'm not all that familiar with. And really, it comes off as a very fun, juicy West Coast IPA. Is that what we're dealing with here? I mean, I don't think I've ever said those words before. But yeah, it has all the attributes of what you'd expect from a new school kind of juicy New England style IPA. But when you add the pininess to this, and in combination with the mouthfeel, and I haven't really talked about that, it's not thin, but it's chuggable, drinkable. It's not turbid, it's not fat, it's not thick, it's not something that's a chore to drink. But it has this drinkability to it that you will kind of associate with a lot of West Coast IPAs, in that kind of crisp, clear chuggability kind of factor, even at a higher ABV. But in this subtly kind of hazy format, this really does come off to me as a New England style juicy, but West Coast influence, heavily West Coast influence with that pininess kind of IPA. I dig this. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. 6.7%. That's kind of where I want my IPAs to land as far as ABV goes. So, I mean, it hits it at its weight class. It's not like something I'm like, this kind of drinks like a 5% beer. No, it drinks at least pushing 7%. And I dig it. It's probably one of the more funner hop combinations that I've had in quite some time, even from Hop Butcher. I mean, they're Hop Butcher for the world. They're known for their hop fuckduggery, and they're known for seeking out and kind of popularizing, at least in my book, a lot of these new school hops, and it's kind of up to their old tricks here. With the couple of hops I really don't have a ton of familiarity with. but it comes off really well, really tasty, and honestly, a really good effing beer. So yeah, let's talk about it. Is this one of the better IPAs I've had as of late? Yes, it's up there, close to Mount Rushmore status. I might just eke out a fifth or sixth place finish on that one, but it wants to be there. Let's put it that way, and that's winning enough for me. Value and availability. Hop Butcher stuff plays, man. You know, they ship stuff. They go out into distribution. I've heard them kind of popping up in random states here and there, so they can be had to a certain extent. So take that for what it's worth, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. I mean, if you like new school hazy IPAs, you kind of have a subtle kind of flutter in your heart for old school kind of West Coast IPAs, and you like a little bit of hop fuck duggery, then this one's going to be definitely something that you're into. So there we go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif. If you want to check me out doing a podcasting thing, I talk to Jeremiah and Jude and go up to the Beer Massif and hear us talk and all that kind of fun stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little Hop Butcher for the world right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.